Week 18 of the fantasy basketball season. And right here, obviously, it's your semifinals of the first round of your fantasy playoffs. But here's a few guards that shouldn't be on your roster. The first guy is Victor Oladipo, the Miami Heat. So Oladipo this whole season, it just seems like he's missed a lot of ball games. He's been traded twice this season, from Indiana to Houston, and then from Houston to the Miami Heat. And right now he's been out with a knee injury for the last couple of weeks, and there's no news or timetable really for his return. So I think Miami, they're going to try to save him here for the playoffs is Depot. And obviously they gave up not that much in a trade, but he's a player they're going to try to re-sign in the offseason. So far in the fantasy season, when he did play, he was productive as a whole. Depot, 20 points a game, 4.8 rebounds, 4.6 assists, 1.4 steals, 2.5 threes a game, 75% from the foul line, but 40% from the field, which isn't all that great, so pretty decent numbers. But he's a player I just wouldn't wait for right now. And with no news coming out of him and probably a week or two left, depending the format of your fantasy basketball season, I believe Oladipo's an easy drop this year for the rest of the way. And he's a player next season in the middle rounds of your fantasy drafts, a guy to target. But right now I would drop him, and he's still owned in 75% of fantasy leagues. But he's an easy drop this week. The second guy is Will Barton of the Denver Nuggets. So the Nuggets, they've been plagued by a lot of injuries over the last few weeks here. First Jamal Murray, Monty Morris, and now Will Barton's out with a right hamstring strain. So that's an injury that's probably going to be 2 or 3 weeks in my opinion. So Barton, he's been dropped already in 7% of fantasy leagues because of the injury on the season. 12.7 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 1.8 threes a game, 78% from the foul line, and 42% from the field. So Barton, he was even struggling before he went down with the injury. 7 points a game, 3 rebounds, 2.5 assists, a 66% from the foul line, and 38% from the field over the last week and a half here. So Will Barton, the numbers weren't great. With the other moves Denver made, getting Aaron Gordon and also signing Austin Rivers and stuff, and PJ Dozier getting a lot of playing time before the injury. He was a guy that probably was going to be droppable, but now with the injury, it's an easy drop, and he's most likely out for most of the regular season left, which is only about 10 or 12 games left in the NBA season to the playoffs. And the third and final guard I will look to drop this week's John Wall of the Houston Rockets. So John Wall, he's a player I figured wouldn't make it through the whole season. And this year, I'm surprised it got this far to the season. I think Wall, he played in about 50 games this season, but now he'll miss the final 11 is Wall, and he's out for the year with a hamstring injury as well. Once that hamstring goes, it's tough to cut left and right. It's tough to jump. It's tough to run, and plus this Rocket team, it's been a horrible season for them and a bad turnaround, trading some main pieces like Robert Covington, obviously, James Harden, and Westbrook in the offseason. So John Wall, he's been dropped in 15% of fantasy leagues, and in his first season back, it was a pretty decent year. 20.6 points a game, 3.2 rebounds, 7 assists a game, 1.1 steals, 2 threes a game, 75% from the foul line, and 40% from the field. So John Wall, he had some decent production, but now next season, you just got to wait and see what he could do. And at least he produced for this Houston team, and we'll see if he's going to be on Houston next season or get bought out or go somewhere else. But right now, he's an easy drop guard this week, and that's a few guards I will look to drop here in Week 18 of the fantasy basketball season.